movie is just, as the visual effects supervisor, it was your job to, you know, the look and feel of this movie is so different than anything else we've ever seen on the animated front. I absolutely just love the reality, the way it looks real. So what was important for you, though, to show?
Well, the important thing was that we wanted to make it look like, and the whole purpose of the movie is, what if it were real? What if you could actually go out and film it? So you have to now film or mimic the style of what's live action photography. And then the methodology of actually creating a live action movie, we had to imitate and emulate to actually physically photograph this, even though it's in a computer, even though we're using animated animals and things like that. And there's a kind of throwaway animal behavior and throwaway shots that you always have when you're in a live action set, where it's like, let me just do one more shot over here, let me do one. And those little details are the things that show up when you see a film, has that kind of life to it that doesn't really quite have in a planned, you know, or animated film of that type. So we had to imitate that whole style of filmmaking to impart, including the lighting.
Technology has advanced so far, even since Jungle Book. I spoke with Jon Favreau, the original when the film opened, and he was telling me he was blown away about the technology, the advances. How did it surprise you, you know, going in, seeing, and we'll compare it to Jungle Book, but even there's movies before that. Hugo, for example. How far have the technologies? Well,
the part of the technology that advanced so much is the photoreality of ray tracing, which is basically it's a light simulation. It does exactly what the sun does and how it bounces off various items and bounces back onto the subject, and you know, the warmth of whatever fabric that you're wearing bounces up, and your brain just takes that as live and looks real. When we totally recreate that in the computer, which takes a lot of computing, your brain just says, well, that's got to be real, because I've always seen it that way. I haven't seen like the fake version of it. I've only seen the real version of it. So that technology has improved even from Jungle Book to Lion King, where just the rendering of the animals kind of blew us away when we first saw the first test. And the animators got really good. They spent a lot of time on Jungle Book, improved their methodology, and then when they applied it to here, and they have the ray tracing, and you have all of the muscle simulations and all the various wind simulations, all of a sudden the whole picture became real, and it was staggering. But the thousands, it was like 1,000 artists working on the movie to actually produce the behind the scenes stuff that fools your eye into believing it's real.